Sit back and enjoy an hour of fascinating facts you didn't know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started.
This is the Monkeyland Primate Sanctuary in South Africa, a refuge that provides a safe home for various species of primates. The primate shown is a gibbon, a species of small ape native to Southeast Asia. Gibbons are famous for their acrobatic abilities, and as mentioned, they are not afraid of falling from the bridge due to the length and strength of their enormous arms and hands. Their anatomy is perfectly adapted for brachiation, moving by swinging between branches, and in the skeleton, it is possible to see how long their arms are in proportion to their body, which gives them an unmatched advantage in their arboreal habitat. These are coffin homes in Hong Kong, China, a city with the highest land value in the world. 200,000 people live in tiny apartments, some of only 15.1 square feet, not long enough to stretch their legs while sleeping. A family pays around $2,000 per month for a niche next to an elevator. A smaller cubicle rents for about $300 per month. Behold the majesty of the Bahamian cruise ship Braemar as it navigates with astonishing precision through an artificial canal only 68.9 feet wide. We are referring to the iconic Corinth Canal in Greece, an engineering marvel that connects the Gulf of Corinth with the Aegean Sea. Its construction was a monumental achievement. Without it, ships would have to undertake a very long journey around the Peloponnese Peninsula, saving days of navigation and thousands of kilometers. It is an impressive example of how human ingenuity can tame geography to facilitate trade and maritime transport. This is the Guinness World Record from 2014 for the narrowest parallel parking. The competition is usually done with Mini Cooper vehicles. It was achieved by the Chinese driver Han Yu during Formula Drift in Chongqing, China. The reverse Guinness World Record was achieved by the English driver Alistair Moffat in 2015. After an intense soccer match, it is not uncommon to observe a man releasing steam from his head while resting. This phenomenon, which might seem surprising, is actually a completely normal physiological process. When the human body performs strenuous exercise, its internal temperature rises considerably. When exposed to an environment with a temperature lower than the body relies on thermoregulation, releasing water vapor through the skin as an efficient way to dissipate heat and return to its optimal temperature. Some Australian geckos have hydrophobic skin that repels water thanks to microstructures called spinules. These allow droplets to roll or bounce across the surface, keeping them dry. This mechanism helps prevent fungal or bacterial infections. The effect resembles what happens on a hot frying pan. The hydrophobic property also contributes to their natural self-cleaning. In Japan, a prototype called Katsugo bag has been introduced, designed to transport live fish until they are prepared in the kitchen. It functions as a portable capsule that keeps the fish in optimal conditions during transport. This device includes an oxygen saturation meter, a thermometer, and an integrated battery. The technique allows the fish to be kept fresh without the need for ice or conventional refrigeration. Its use is intended for specialized gastronomy. In January of 2020, the American golfer Michael Furr obtained the Guinness World Record for having built the longest functional golf club in the world. The club measured 51.1 feet and was successfully used to strike a ball. The shot reached a distance greater than 147.6 feet, meeting the functional requirements of the record. The attempt took place in Fort Worth, Texas, and was officially recorded. Recorded in Denmark, this is a cinnamon bath. There is a belief that it brings good luck. It is known as the cinnamon ritual and consists of throwing kilograms of this powder over the head of a man or a woman when they have not managed to get married by the age of 25. It is an effective ritual, and it works not because it brings you luck, but because it gives you publicity. And thanks to that, people in your community now know that you want to get married. The El Totumo mud volcano is located in the municipality of Santa Catalina, near Cartagena, Colombia. It is not an active volcano in the geological sense, since it does not emit lava, but rather a mixture of mud rich in minerals. This site functions as a tourist attraction, where visitors can immerse themselves in its muddy waters for therapeutic purposes. The bath costs around $5, and additional services such as massages or rinsing may have an extra cost. In Sagada, the Philippines, the Igorot ethnic group has practiced placing coffins on cliffs as part of an ancient funerary custom that seeks to symbolically bring the deceased closer to the sky and protect them from scavenging animals, a tradition that is still maintained in specific cases. Similar practices were documented in Yunnan, China, among the Bo people, where coffins were also suspended in elevated places as a sign of respect. This crystal growing kit recreates a Japanese scene with decorative elements. The design includes figures of Mount Fuji, cherry blossom trees, and a stylized representation of the Honshu countryside. The crystals grow on paper or plastic structures and form unique patterns. This type of toy is popular in educational activities and scientific observation. The seeds of the Triplaris americana tree, native to tropical America, have 3 reddish wings that allow them to disperse through the wind by a mechanism known as anemochory. Their shape resembles a badminton shuttlecock and is designed to promote a slow and controlled descent that facilitates germination in open areas. This pioneer species usually establishes itself in forest clearings or disturbed areas. Efficient dispersal is key to its colonization. The caterpillar known as the pus caterpillar or asp, belonging to the species Megalopyge opercularis, inhabits regions from the United States to Colombia and is distinguished by its body covered in hair that hides venomous spines capable of causing intense pain upon contact, in some cases compared to that of a fracture. However, the reaction varies depending on individual sensitivity, and not everyone experiences severe symptoms, although discomfort such as nausea or swelling may occur. Despite its toxicity, no deaths have been reported, and avoiding any direct contact is advised. The Asian elephant can be trained to perform acts such as painting in front of tourists, although it does not understand the meaning of its strokes. This behavior is the result of years of conditioning, in which the handler guides its movements through physical stimuli, such as pulling the ear in different directions to indicate the strokes. Elephants have large brains with hundreds of billions of neurons, although their density per cubic millimeter is lower than that of humans. The painting activity is a memorized repetition, not a conscious artistic expression. The skunk uses a chemical defensive strategy based on the expulsion of a foul liquid from its glands, capable of reaching up to 6.5 feet in distance. Some species stand on their front legs to better aim the spray, although not all adopt this posture. The odor can linger on skin or clothing for at least 2 weeks, and in some cases persist for up to a month if the active compounds are not removed. This substance contains thiols, highly volatile sulfur compounds responsible for the penetrating smell. The phenomenon known as the death circle occurs when a group of ants begins following one another in a closed loop, losing the pheromone trail that normally guides their movement. This behavior has been observed in blind army ants and can last for hours or even days. The ants involved eventually die from exhaustion. Reynisfjara Black Beach is located in southern Iceland near the village of Vik í Mýrdal and is famous for its volcanic sand, formed by the erosion of solidified lava. Its landscape is dominated by basalt columns, steep cliffs, and rock formations known as Reynistrangar, associated with local legends. The contrast between the black sand and the ocean makes it one of the most striking beaches in the world. Every winter in Westbrook, Maine, a rare natural phenomenon can appear. An ice disk forms in rivers when the current slowly erodes the edges of a floating ice sheet, giving it a circular shape. The disk rotates on its axis due to lateral water flow. Although part of the ice remains submerged, the disk floats on the surface. Its size can exceed 295 feet in diameter. There is no definitive explanation, but it is associated with vortices generated by temperature and density differences. It is one of the most unusual winter phenomenon documented in the United States. The rectangular iceberg recorded by NASA in October of 2018 formed naturally after breaking away from the Larsen C ice shelf in Antarctica. Its geometric shape and straight edges classify it as a tabular iceberg, resulting from linear fractures in the ice. Although it appears unusual, this type of formation is relatively common in polar regions. Ice often breaks in straight lines, generating flat surfaces with defined angles. Over time, wind, waves, and temperature erode the block, altering its symmetry. The Odelete River, located in the Algarve region of Portugal, has been informally nicknamed the Blue Dragon River due to its serpentine shape when viewed from the air. This image became popular in 2015 among Chinese internet users because of its resemblance to traditional dragon representations in that culture. Every year during St. Patrick's Day celebrations, the Chicago River in Illinois is dyed green as part of a tradition that began in 1962. The dye used is a non-toxic vegetable powder, and its exact formula remains secret. The procedure is carried out by the local plumbers union from boats on the river. The green color appears within minutes and remains visible for several hours. This practice began with the detection of leaks in the sewer system. The transformation of the river has become a festive symbol of the community.
Sperm whales sleep in a vertical position near the surface for short periods, usually between 10 and 20 minutes. During rest, some individuals may appear head down or tail up, although there is no formally recorded pattern. They are common in temperate and deep waters of all oceans. Their presence has been confirmed in the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea.
What you see here is the imposing Tibetan Mastiff, one of the largest and most impressive canine breeds in the world. This dog stands out for its abundant fur, which makes it appear even more majestic. Originating from the icy heights of the Himalayas, Tibetan Mastiffs were invaluable companions to nomadic shepherds, protecting their herds with their size, strength, and bravery. Although the Great Dane holds the title of the tallest dog in the world at around 42.8 inches, the Tibetan Mastiff is not far behind, reaching a respectable 29.5 inches in height at the shoulder.
The golden snub-nosed langur is a primate endemic to mountainous regions of China, such as Sichuan, Shanxi, and Gansu, where it inhabits temperate forests that often have snow. It is adapted to cold climates and feeds mainly on fruits, leaves, shoots, and pine needles, depending on the season. It lives in large groups that subdivide into units led by a dominant male with 5 or 6 females and their offspring. It is considered the only primate that regularly tolerates snow. It is classified as a vulnerable species due to habitat loss. Its social behavior is complex and hierarchical. It is one of the most unique species of Chinese wildlife.
The Berryman Festival is celebrated every second Friday of August in South Queensferry near Edinburgh, Scotland. A man walks through the town covered with hundreds of burdock burrs, plants with sticky seed heads that cling to his suit. The walk lasts approximately 9 hours and covers between 6.8 and 8.7 miles. Although its exact origin is unknown, it is associated with ceremonies of protection, fertility, and renewal. Josh Newman was an American longboard downhill skateboarder, known for his videos on Swiss roads. On these routes, speeds above 62 miles per hour can be reached. To brake, riders slide and use gloves with sliding discs on the palms. To reduce speed, they raise their bodies, and to increase it, they crouch. They also tuck the rear leg and arms to minimize resistance. The boards used, called longboards, usually measure between 35.4 and 43.3 inches. This strange frog is unable to land on its feet, instead landing on its side, on its back, or even on its nose. It simply jumps and stiffens its body to fall in an uncontrolled way. It is an amphibian endemic to the Amazon, known locally as the Bruno frog, Leptodactylus phalanx. Although it is not very graceful in its landing, it can be found from Brazil to Colombia. Its peculiar way of falling is part of its survival strategy in its habitat. Racing greyhounds reach speeds close to 43.5 miles per hour, thanks to their explosive start and aerodynamic bodies. Racehorses, especially thoroughbreds, have similar maximum speeds, around 46.6 miles per hour. However, their initial acceleration is slower, and they require more distance to reach peak performance. Therefore, greyhounds outperform horses at the start. Both animals stand out for their speed over short distances. The comparison must consider acceleration time, track type, and physical endurance. This is an astonishing example of mutualism in nature, the leaf litter frog and the tarantula Pamphobeteus antineus, commonly known as the Genesis tarantula, which help each other in a fascinating symbiotic relationship. They are common in Peru, Brazil, and Bolivia. The frog takes refuge under the body of the tarantula when a predator is nearby, finding protection in its size and intimidating reputation. In return, the frog feeds on the small parasites and insects that often infest the tarantula's nest and could feed on the arachnid's eggs, thus benefiting both. This is a vein moving. In reality, it is a vein that shifts due to the movement of 2 fingers. Veins are thin and bluish in color because they carry poorly oxygenated blood. In contrast, arteries are thick and red because they carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body. The onychophoran, known as the velvet worm, captures prey such as cockroaches using an adhesive slime that it shoots from oral papillae. Although its eyes are simple and have limited vision, it is not completely blind. Some species can eject this substance up to distances close to 18 inches, although there is no universal measurement. They inhabit tropical and humid regions from Mexico to Argentina. There is a reason why it is recommended to flush with the lid closed. What is seen is the microscopic breeze or aerosol plume that emerges from inside a toilet when the flush is activated. This phenomenon, often invisible to the naked eye, consists of tiny water particles mixed with bacteria and viruses that can disperse through the air. Closing the lid minimizes the spread of these aerosols, contributing to better bathroom hygiene.
The technique of watermelon carving is part of an artistic tradition present for centuries in Asian countries such as Thailand, China, and Vietnam. It consists of designing patterns on the surface of the fruit and cutting them precisely using specialized knives. Watermelon is chosen for its size, color contrast, and ease of handling. The carving is frequently used in celebrations and gastronomic displays. Today, it is a decorative art form with a presence on social media and in culinary competitions.
Bombardier beetles belong to the Carabiidae family and use a unique defensive mechanism that consists of expelling a hot chemical mixture from the abdomen. This reaction generates a high-temperature explosion capable of repelling or killing insects. The mixture contains hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide, which when combined, reach temperatures close to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. They are carnivorous and feed on other invertebrates. Their range can exceed 8 inches.
The English mechanic Shane has built a peculiar sofa car that has caught the attention of many. Instead of a traditional steering wheel, this vehicle uses a pizza. The pedals are located to the right of the driver and are controlled by a foot and a knee. To accelerate, a package of candy is used, and to brake, a Guinness drink. This project, known as the car sofa, has been a success in the media and on social networks.
In the skies over the United States, one of the most unusual and captivating cloud formations on the planet was captured: horseshoe clouds. These singular clouds begin their atmospheric dance with the formation of air vortices that rotate in a circular manner. They become visible when these whirlwinds manage to trap small amounts of moisture, which then take on that characteristic curved shape. Often, their peculiar silhouette is the result of rising air currents that are frequently generated by the presence of imposing mountain ranges.
Recorded in Thailand, what at first glance appears to be a hairy snake is actually a fascinating example of natural adaptation. This is a water snake, specifically known as the mud snake, Anhydrus plumbae. What gives it its hairy appearance is the moss that has grown on its skin after spending a long time motionless among rocks underwater. This phenomenon is temporary. The moss will naturally detach when the snake sheds its skin, revealing its usual smooth epidermis.
In cities such as Dujiangyan, near Chengdu, crows have been documented dropping nuts onto pedestrian crossings so that cars crush them, then collecting the food during the red light. This behavior is considered deliberate tool use and demonstrates high cognitive ability. Recent studies indicate that certain birds, such as crows and parrots, have a neuronal density higher than that of many primates, allowing them to perform complex tasks. These birds show long-term memory, causal reasoning, and problem-solving.
These are the extremely valuable Fabergé eggs. These eggs are considered masterpieces of jewelry and were only produced between 1885 and 1917. There are 69 eggs, and they were created by the Russian goldsmith Peter Carl Fabergé. The diamond cuckoo clock egg is the most expensive in the world. It was sold for $14 million. And why are they shaped like eggs? The most important celebration in the calendar of the Russian Orthodox Church is Easter, and it is commemorated with the exchange of Easter eggs.
Greek artist Petros Peris creates portraits using a single continuous thread on a circular frame with 200 points. The artwork is developed through an algorithm that transforms images into linear patterns. The thread crosses between 3,000 and 4,000 times without cuts or knots. The result is a monochromatic portrait with remarkable visual precision. The technique combines digital art, programming, and physical design.
During winter conditions at airports in the United States, commercial aircraft undergo a de-icing process to remove frost, snow, and ice from wings, fuselage, and stabilizers. A Type 1 fluid is used, composed mainly of propylene glycol and water, heated between 160 and 180 degrees Fahrenheit. This fluid is applied using special vehicles that spray the mixture under pressure onto critical surfaces. In some cases, a Type 4 fluid is added as an anti-icing agent to prevent ice from reforming before takeoff.
Every 6 years in Suwa, Nagano, the Ombashira Matsuri takes place, a Japanese festival with more than 1,200 years of history. Participants fell 16 sacred fir trees in the nearby mountains. They then transport the logs to Suwa Shrine, where they are erected as ceremonial pillars. During the phase called Kyotoshi, some participants slide down steep slopes on the logs.
This atmospheric phenomenon is called a sky punch or fall streak hole and is observed in altocumulus or cirrocumulus type clouds. It forms when the air suddenly cools and supercooled water droplets transform into ice crystals. This transformation can be triggered by the passage of an airplane. The process causes the droplets to evaporate and leave a visible hole in the cloud. The technical explanation corresponds to the mechanism known as the Bergeron process.
This is probably the largest toilet in the world. It must measure around 6.56 feet, and although it can flush water like a real one, it is not functional for human use. It is an eccentric work of art rather than a practical toilet. Probably recorded in China, this could be one of the largest spinning tops. The origin of the spinning top as a toy is not known with certainty. However, the oldest known example dates back about 6,000 years. It was found in the region of the Euphrates River in present-day Iraq. It was made of clay and is part of a long, playful tradition.
The largest tire landfill in the world is located in Kuwait, mainly in the areas of Arhia and Salmi. For decades, more than 50 million tires have accumulated there. Since 2012, several fires have been recorded, some producing enormous smoke columns visible from great altitude.
In 2020, the Turkish YouTuber Enes Yilmaz performed a paragliding flight from Alanya, Turkey, using a bed equipped with a stool, a lamp, an alarm clock, blankets, and a pillow. All the furniture was firmly secured to the paraglider, allowing the entire setup to fly at more than 2,625 feet of altitude. For about 15 minutes, the young man remained lying down and calm while being filmed from the ground. The flight concluded with a smooth landing on Cleopatra Beach in front of curious tourists. The video went viral due to how unusual and seemingly dangerous the stunt was.
In Lake Baikal, Russia, a curious natural phenomenon known as Baikal Zen occurs. It consists of stones that appear to float on ice pedestals during winter. Solar radiation warms the stones, slowly melting the ice directly beneath them. This process leaves a colder base that supports the stone in balance. Wind also contributes to the erosion of the surrounding ice. Although rare, it has been photographed and documented by observers and specialized media.
The Grand Prismatic Spring in Yellowstone National Park in the United States is the largest hot spring in the country and the third largest in the world. It stands out for its intense colors caused by pigmented bacteria that thrive in mineral-rich waters. These bacteria form biofilms that vary depending on temperature. Occasional phenomena such as steam whirlwinds can be observed due to the interaction of heat with the air. Its diameter exceeds 295 feet, and its temperature is around 158 degrees Fahrenheit. It is one of the most photographed landscapes in Yellowstone.
It is truly astonishing how this store not only prevents water from leaking through, but also has the incredible strength to withstand all that hydraulic energy.
The ropes are most likely attached to the hood from underneath. It is the same principle used by any panel beater to straighten metal.
This is the Bikes Motorcycle Club in London, England. An incredible place that shows how the owners managed to transform an apparent design problem in the building into a true attraction for customers. By integrating the pre-existing architecture and perhaps its limitations, they created a unique space that is not only a motorcycle club, but also a restaurant, barbershop, and store, all with a distinctive atmosphere that attracts both motorcycle enthusiasts and the general public. Giraffe Manor is a boutique hotel located in Nairobi, Kenya, famous for allowing guests to feed Rothschild giraffes from the restaurant or bedroom windows. These giraffes are part of a reserve dedicated to their conservation. The main colonial-style building was constructed in the 1930s and later restored to offer luxury accommodation. The nightly rate usually exceeds $300 per person, although it may vary depending on the season and room type. The place has gained notoriety for its close interaction with these animals and its conservation-focused approach.
This striking visual phenomenon is known as the Kelvin-Helmholtz instability. It forms when there is an interaction between two fluids moving at different speeds, creating waves that resemble ocean swells. We can see this type of instability in the atmosphere, where it forms spectacular clouds with wavy shapes, or in space, at the interfaces of nebulae and the layers of giant gaseous planets. It is a visual manifestation of the complex dynamics of fluids in nature.
Recorded in China, this is a traffic jam caused mainly by trucks transporting watermelons. China is the world's largest producer of watermelons, accounting for more than half of the annual global volume. It is followed by countries such as Turkey, Iran, Brazil, and Mexico. These transports are common during harvest seasons due to high domestic consumption. Watermelon is a fruit of great economic and cultural value in several Asian regions.
Recorded in New York, United States,
This video was computer-generated for the organization City Harvest. Its main goal is a crucial message, to remind people of the importance of not wasting food, especially during the holiday season. City Harvest is a leading organization in the fight against hunger, dedicated to rescuing surplus food and distributing it to those who need it most.
This energetic canine is a border collie, a herding dog for sheep or goats, famous for its intelligence and agility. There are two main types of herding dogs: guardians, which defend livestock from predators, and controllers, like the border collie, which manage herds with precise movements and intense stares. Their herding instinct is so strong that they are often seen herding their human families or even other animals at home. They are loyal and highly active companions that require plenty of exercise and mental stimulation. This is a house for skaters at the Gaîté Lyrique Modern Art Center in Paris, France. The entire surface is skatable and is inspired by a half-pipe. It was designed by the Belgian architect François Dallegrette.
Behold the magnificent Gothic armor of the 15th century, a true masterpiece of medieval metalwork. Extremely shiny and imposing, these suits of armor could be composed of more than 200 meticulously forged pieces. Every noble knight had a squire, a lifelong servant who not only helped him dress and clean the armor, but also bore the solemn responsibility of burying him if the knight died in battle. Although the knights who wore it proudly considered themselves almost invincible, the reality was more complex. Full armor weighed between 66 and 88 pounds, which caused mobility problems. The helmet, with its small slits, drastically reduced the knight's field of vision, making combat a claustrophobic experience.
In Australia, it is common to see kangaroos moving along rural roads. The red kangaroo can reach speeds close to 43.5 miles per hour over short distances. Ostriches also reach that speed, while gazelles can reach up to 49.7 miles per hour. The leopard, although agile, has a maximum speed of about 36 miles per hour. The cheetah is the fastest land animal, with recorded speeds between 64.6 and 71.5 miles per hour.
On an island in southwestern Finland, the family of entrepreneur Martin Mikos used a small rowing boat to push a large ice floe that was approaching their dock. The scene was recorded by his wife using a drone and went viral due to how unusual the gesture was.
The Sorisniva Ice Hotel is located in Alta Norme and is rebuilt every winter using snow and ice. Although the exterior can reach up to 40 degrees below zero Fahrenheit, the interior remains between 25 and 19 degrees below zero Fahrenheit. Wind insulation improves thermal comfort, but proper clothing and thermal sleeping bags are required. The experience includes ice sculptures, artistic lighting, and accommodation in carved rooms. The price per night varies, but can range between $300 and $500.
The Meissner effect was discovered in 1933 and describes how a superconducting material, when cooled below its critical temperature, completely expels the magnetic field from its interior. This allows phenomena such as the levitation of magnets over superconducting surfaces, thanks to their behavior as perfect diamagnets. The process does not consist of freezing the object, but of cooling it until it reaches the superconducting state, which requires extremely low temperatures, often using liquid nitrogen or liquid helium.
Recorded in Italy, this floating marvel is the Violin of Venice, affectionately known as Noah's violin. More than a simple vessel, it is a floating stage designed to host classical music concerts, offering a unique cultural experience as it travels through the picturesque main canals of the historic city. This giant violin, often seen at special events, merges musical art with Venetian charm in a truly unforgettable way.
The Breiða Merkurjökull ice cave, located in Iceland, contains natural formations created by the freezing of glacial meltwater. These structures are composed of dense ice and display intense blue tones due to the purity and density of the ice. They are accessible only during winter, from November to March, when conditions are more stable and safe. The Hammerschwand elevator is located in Bergenstock, Switzerland, and is the tallest outdoor elevator in Europe. It was inaugurated in 1905 and reaches a height of 502 feet. It connects the Felsenweg Trail with the Hammerschwand viewpoint at more than 3,707 feet above sea level. It is part of the Bergenstock Resort Complex located on the mountain summit. From its elevated structure, the optical phenomenon known as the Brockenspector or glory can occasionally be observed. This consists of a circular rainbow surrounding the projected shadow of a figure. The Museum of the Future in Dubai, inaugurated in 2022, is dedicated to innovation and features an oval structure decorated with Arabic calligraphy that reproduces phrases about progress and future vision.
Its architecture symbolizes knowledge and the void of a future yet to be written. The interior houses exhibitions on artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and sustainability.
This is not just any bicycle. It is the self-balancing swan bicycle, an innovative creation by the Chinese engineer Ji Hui-jun. What makes it exceptional is its ability to ride by itself without the need for human propulsion. Its secret is a precision gyroscope that gives it perfect balance. In addition to being electric, it is equipped with advanced sensors that allow it to detect and avoid obstacles, marking a milestone in personal and autonomous vehicle technology.
The Invisible House of Joshua Tree is located in California, near the park of the same name. It was designed by Tomas Osinski, along with producer Chris Hanley, and stands out for its mirrored glass facade. It has an indoor pool of more than 98 feet, a fully equipped kitchen, and up to 4 bedrooms. It also has at least 3 bathrooms and a separate suite. It is rented by the night or by the month, and nightly prices range between $2,000 and $5,000.
Somatic is an autonomous robot designed to clean bathrooms in commercial environments. It is capable of using elevators, opening doors, and disinfecting toilets, sinks, floors, and other surfaces. It operates without constant supervision and adapts to each space through virtual reality training. The manufacturer rents it for $1,000 per month. It operates 8 hours a day and 40 hours a week. It is in use in offices, gyms, and hotels in the United States. Its efficiency has made it a notable example of robotics applied to hygiene tasks.
Usain Bolt ran in zero gravity during a parabolic flight conducted over France in September of 2018. The event took place aboard an Airbus operated by Novaspace as part of a promotional campaign. These flights generate temporary weightlessness by ascending at an angle and then descending along a ballistic trajectory. For a few seconds, passengers experience freefall, simulating the absence of gravity. The aircraft reaches approximately 33,000 feet in altitude during the maneuver. In England, arc-shaped clouds known as cumulonimbus arcus have been documented. This phenomenon forms when cold descending air from a storm collides with warm surface air, generating condensation in horizontal layers. The resulting cloud has a curved appearance and can extend for miles. It is common in severe storms and is associated with abrupt changes in pressure and temperature. The Mamaray and Ucayali rivers display active meanders that change over time due to water erosion, generating oxbow lakes when old channels are abandoned. The Mamaray flows through areas of Bolivia and Brazil, while the Ucayali crosses regions of Peru. Both rivers are examples of fluvial dynamics in tropical environments. Meanders are curves formed by the erosion of riverbanks caused by water flow.
Security keys for faucets block the flow of water to prevent unauthorized use, especially outdoors. They are easy to install and feature a lock that requires a key to release the flow. They are useful in public spaces, shared housing, or businesses.
These are the extra and precarious seats on the roof of public transportation in the Congo. Although traveling this way is cheaper and allows passengers to enjoy the scenery and escape the scorching heat inside the vehicle, it is extremely dangerous. The risks include falling off the roof, colliding with branches or low structures, and exposure to the elements. It is a desperate practice that reflects the lack of safe and affordable transportation options in some regions. The Chinese company OneSpace carried out its first private launch in 2018 with the Chongqing Liangjiang Star rocket. This was a suborbital test flight aimed at developing technologies for microsatellites and nanosatellites. OneSpace is part of a new wave of companies dedicated to improving access to low Earth orbits. Marcello Barenghi is an Italian illustrator known for his hyper-realistic drawings that simulate three-dimensional objects through mixed techniques, such as pencil, marker, and airbrush. His works generate the illusion of depth and volume, appearing real at first glance. This visual effect, commonly called three-dimensional drawing, is achieved without using digital modeling, but through precise shading and perspective. Watch how a box that falls from the back of a moving truck is, against all logic, sucked back toward the vehicle. This phenomenon, which seems to defy the laws of physics, has a surprisingly simple explanation. First, the box must contain very light contents. Second, and crucial, is the effect of an air pocket that forms just behind the moving truck, known as drafting. Part of the air that swirls in the vehicle's wake tends to lift from the ground and regroup toward the rear, creating a low-pressure zone that can trap light objects and pull them back toward the truck.
The Zongshuge bookstore, located in Dujiangyan near Chengdu, China, was designed by the studio X Plus Living and stands out for its mirrored ceilings, curved shelves, and optical illusions inspired by the works of the Dutch artist Maurits Cornelius Escher. Its design creates an immersive atmosphere that transforms the reading experience into a visual journey.
Meet Turning the Place Over, an incredible sculpture by the English architect Richard Wilson located in Liverpool. This piece transforms an empty building into a striking visual experience. Wilson used a section of the building's facade, including windows and doors, and rotated it 90 degrees, creating the illusion that the interior has tipped outward. It is a bold artistic intervention that challenges our perception of space and conventional architecture.
The Bund Finance Center is located in Shanghai, China, and was designed by Heatherwick Studio and Foster & Partners. Its kinetic facade stands out for featuring 3 movable layers of vertical metallic tubes that rotate on tracks. These dynamic curtains evoke bamboo and traditional Chinese screens. They are composed of 675 pieces of aluminum and stainless steel. The movement of the structures generate different levels of transparency depending on their position. During heavy rains in Pital, Costa Rica, some roads and uneven areas have flooded, affecting vehicle traffic. These situations occur frequently during the rainy season, when water overflows the edges of rural roads. The lack of adequate drainage increases the risk of sudden flooding. The Palais Bowls, known as the Bubble Palace, is located in Thule-sur-Mer near Cannes, France, and was designed between the 1970s and 1980s by the Hungarian architect Antti Lovag, who sought to break away from traditional forms through spherical and organic structures. This futuristic residence was acquired by French designer Pierre Cardin in the early 1990s and used as both a home and a space for fashion presentations. Captured in a shopping mall in San Francisco, these spiral escalators are a true work of architectural art. Their helical design is not only aesthetically impressive, but also optimizes space in a fascinating way, guiding visitors through different levels smoothly and in a visually appealing manner. They are a perfect example of how functionality can merge with beauty in interior design. China has established itself as the undisputed leader in global duck meat production, a sector vital to its economy and gastronomy. This dominance is impressive, as the Asian country accounts for approximately 60% of worldwide production of this meat. Its farms extend across several provinces, with Jiangsu, Shandong, and Zhejiang standing out as the main production centers. Meet the giant of the oceans, the cargo ship Ever Ace. This colossal vessel is a marvel of naval engineering designed to transport an astonishing amount of goods across the globe. To put its scale into perspective, just its main propeller weighs an impressive 154,324 pounds, which is equivalent to 14 times the average weight of an Asian elephant, which is around 11,023 pounds. The Ever Ace represents the pinnacle of modern maritime transportation capacity, essential to the global supply chain. The hoverbike Scorpion 3, created by the Russian company Hoversurf, is a prototype limited in speed and range, developed as an experimental vehicle. Its flight was recorded in Moscow as part of demonstration tests. In Mexico, the use of the EHang 216 drone is expected, manufactured by the Chinese company EHang. This electric drone can carry up to 1,389 pounds and reach 80.8 miles per hour. Its range is close to 18.6 miles, and it autonomously operates on pre-established air routes. It takes off and lands from platforms known as skyports. Although still in the testing phase, it represents an advance in urban air mobility. In Morocco, an automotive curiosity that defies imagination was spotted: a double Jeep. It appears that its ingenious owner welded 2 Jeep Wranglers together to create this unique vehicle. Most likely, the Jeep on the left retains the functional engine that powers both, while the right side keeps its own engine, not for propulsion, but simply to act as an essential counterweight and maintain the stability of this unusual creation. Recorded in Texas, United States, this is a Volvo 244, a mobile work of art. It is not just an automobile, but a striking display that carries on its roof, hood, and doors the unusual load of 200 fish and singing lobsters. Nanjing Road in Shanghai, China, is one of the busiest commercial areas in the country. Its pedestrian section receives hundreds of thousands of visitors per day, especially during peak seasons. It is known for its shops, restaurants, and shopping centers. The pedestrian crossing is one of the largest in China. In Oxford, England, there is a house in Headington with a fiberglass shark sculpture embedded in the roof. It was installed on August 9, 1986, by artist John Buckley as a form of protest. The project was driven by Bill Hine, who was the homeowner at the time. The artwork measures 24.5 feet and has become a local icon. Travel back in time to the childhood of humanity with this glimpse into a marble factory. These small glass orbs that have delighted generations are much more than a simple toy. They are a fragment of history. In fact, marbles have been found in the tomb of a child from ancient Egypt, which tells us of an age that goes back an astonishing 5,000 years. This makes them one of the oldest and most enduring toys humanity has ever known. The indoor waterfall at Dubai Mall include metallic sculptures known as diving men, which represent human figures in diving positions. These sculptures are made of polished aluminum and are distributed throughout a multi-story installation. In the United States, it is common to see raccoons eating fruit in trees, such as apples. These animals possess a tapetum lucidum, an ocular layer that reflects light and improves night vision. That is why their eyes shine when illuminated, just like in cats and dogs. The raccoon is primarily nocturnal, although it may show crepuscular activity depending on the environment. This eye reflection is an evolutionary adaptation for hunting and moving in the dark. Every autumn, Madrid celebrates the Festival of Transhumans to highlight the traditional movement of livestock along drovers' roads. This route is protected by the Drovers' Roads Law of 1995, which recognizes these paths as public domain. Although it is not limited to winter, the practice of transhumans involves seeking milder climates during that season. The event brings together thousands of sheep, shepherds, and curious onlookers in the heart of the urban center. It originated in 1994 as a cultural and environmental statement. Recorded in China, this is an ingenious restaurant truck, a mobile and efficient solution for gastronomy. These types of vehicles are designed with a fully equipped kitchen inside, allowing them to operate as a complete restaurant on wheels. They are popular at festivals, events, or simply to offer food in different locations, providing flexibility and access to a wide customer base. In Guadalajara, Mexico, the firm Hernández Silva Arquitectos designed a bathroom with a glass floor. It is located on the 15th floor of a building constructed in the 1970s. During its remodeling, a shaft for an elevator that was never installed was discovered. In that space, a half bathroom was built that allows viewing all 15 levels of the empty shaft. The visual effect went viral due to its extreme design. The glass floor is safe and structurally designed to support weight. The steel pan is a metallic drum that originated in Trinidad and Tobago during the 20th century. It emerged as a creative response to colonial restrictions on the use of traditional drums. Although it developed in the Caribbean, it incorporates African influences in its technique and aesthetics. It is made from industrial barrels tuned by specialized percussionists. This is a recreated fight between a samurai and a knight, two warriors from different eras and cultures, but with deadly martial skills. It is interesting to note the differences in their fighting styles. Normally, a samurai constantly changes his attack stance after delivering strikes, seeking to keep his opponent off balance. Sometimes he ends with the sword pointing downward, and then, depending on movement and tactical necessity, changes the position of the sword upward or to the sides. This reflects the fluidity and adaptability of kenjutsu, the art of the samurai sword. The Oval Gardens of Nærum are located on the outskirts of Copenhagen, Denmark, and were designed by Carl Theodor Sorensen between 1948 and 1949 as community gardens. The complex consists of 50 oval plots of approximately 861 square feet each, surrounded by hedges. Its landscape design has been widely admired for its visual harmony and urban integration. Recorded in the United States, this is an abandoned mine shaft. Depending on weight, a stone falls at an approximate speed of 37.3 miles per hour, meaning it takes 1 minute to fall 1 mile. These burning containers took about 15 seconds to fall, considering that they would have gone out before reaching the bottom. And that is what happened. This shaft measures approximately 820 feet deep. To create a fire and smoke tornado inside a soap bubble, the bubble needs strength, so it is made with soap and glycerin. Then gas is added and a smaller secondary bubble filled with smoke is created. Air is blown into the large bubble to form a swirl, and they are joined. A finger at the top helps direct the vortex. An extraordinary case. A man has a prosthetic eye that lights up the room. He lost his natural eye after surgery and now uses a titanium eye prosthesis with an integrated light-emitting diode. Remarkably,
This prosthesis apparently does not heat up, and the battery can last up to 20 hours, allowing him to illuminate his surroundings in a very unique way. It is an astonishing example of how technology can improve people's lives.
These are the orbits of Jupiter's moons. To date, at least 79 satellites have been counted, and they are divided into 4 groups. 4 inner satellites that are medium-sized and closer to the planet. Then come the 4 Galilean satellites, which are the largest and the first to be discovered. 10 regular satellites that are small and have large orbits. Finally, the retrograde satellites, which are extremely small. Some of them measure only 0.62 miles in diameter.
Admire the delicacy and ingenuity of leaf art. This unique form of artistic expression consists of creating intricate works on the surface of natural leaves. It is very likely that these talented artists begin their process by tracing the design on the back of the leaf before proceeding with cutting or engraving. Among the most recognized figures in this discipline are the Kazakh Kanat Mortazin, the Iranian Omid Asadi, and the Spanish artist Lorenzo Duran, who have elevated this technique to a level of true mastery. The Miura Kaigan Sakura Festival is held every year in the city of Miura, Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan. It takes place between February and March, when more than 1,000 cherry trees of the Kawazu Sakura variety bloom. The trees extend along the Keikyu train tracks and the road leading to Komatsu Gaike Park. During the festival, there are food stalls and local products. It is one of the earliest cherry blossom events in Japan each year. In Turkey, a tradition with more than 1,000 years of history is practiced, known as camel wrestling. It takes place in winter, when Tulu camels, hybrids bred for this purpose, compete during the mating season. The event occurs mainly in the Aegean region and is part of Turkish cultural heritage. The practice originated among nomadic Turkic tribes. The matches are controlled and do not involve injuries to the camels. The public attends as part of local festivals. Lacrymaria olor is a single-celled microorganism that lives in freshwater puddles and stands out for its extensible and flexible neck. This neck can reach up to 30 times the length of the body and allows it to capture other mobile cells. The extension is achieved through an internal helical structure of microtubules, similar to cellular origami. This mechanism was documented by Stanford researchers in recent studies. The behavior responds to chemical and mechanical stimuli in its environment. Recorded in Pakistan, giant flatbreads can be seen that are likely chapati breads made with whole wheat flour. They are cooked on a cast iron griddle called a tava, although they are normally made smaller and folded into a triangular shape. In Bogotá, there is the themed restaurant De Bucatari, decorated with visual references to horror movie characters such as Freddy Krueger, Pennywise, and Hannibal Lecter, and known for its dishes inspired by Viking banquets. Its name refers to the Romanian word for kitchen. The atmosphere aims to offer an immersive experience for horror film fans, combining gastronomy with unsettling scenery. On July 2, 2021, in the Bay of Campeche, a fire occurred on the sea due to a natural gas leak. The incident originated in a 4.7-inch underwater pipeline near the Ku Sea platform, part of the Ku Malob Zab complex. A valve failure allowed the gas to ignite on the ocean surface. Pemex activated emergency protocols and closed the interconnection valves. Firefighting vessels were used to control the flames. Koi Garden Coffee is located in District 5 of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The cafe stands out for having tables installed inside shallow ponds where koi fish swim. Although the tables do not float, they are surrounded by water, creating a unique visual sensation. Customers can feed the fish from their seats while enjoying their drinks. It is also possible to submerge feet in the water as part of the experience. The atmosphere combines relaxation, contact with nature, and original design. The bottoms-up beer machine, created by American engineer Josh Springer, allows beer glasses to be filled from the base through a dispensing system. The glass has a lower opening covered by a magnetic disc that opens on contact and seals when removed. This method speeds up beer service at large events and reduces foam formation, although it does not eliminate it completely, as it depends on the type of beer and the pressure applied. Recorded in Long Beach, United States, this image documents a massive maritime congestion in the Pacific Ocean. What is observed is an immense line of cargo ships patiently waiting to unload their products at California ports. This type of maritime bottleneck, particularly severe in the period prior to major consumption events such as Black Friday, highlights the complexities and logistical challenges of the global supply chain, directly impacting the availability of goods and prices.
In Albacete, Spain, a strong gust of wind lifted a massive sandstorm. The phenomenon was caused by a heat wave that made hot air circulate with greater force than usual in the city.
In the game of tic-tac-toe, also known as 3 in a row, there are opening strategies that increase the chances of winning. Starting in the center allows lines to be formed in more directions, offering a tactical advantage. Another effective option is to start in a corner, especially if the opponent does not respond with strategic logic. These openings are documented in optimal solution guides for the game. The game combines simplicity with anticipatory reasoning. Its analysis reveals basic strategic principles applicable to everyday situations.
In Russia, near the village of Kamenka, there is Kudinova Gora Park with a sculpture of Smeagol Golem. This 49-foot dragon has 3 heads that breathe fire during special shows. The creature comes from Slavic folklore and appears in Russian tales. It is depicted with 2 large hind legs, 2 smaller front legs, and a green body.
When you do it quickly, all that can be seen are the fingers. The trick shown in the video, an illusion of manual dexterity, is based on rapidly moving combinations of opening and closing the fingers or hands in a specific way. This creates an optical illusion that deceives the eye, making it seem as though an object appears or disappears, or that the fingers blend into a blur of motion. The key is speed and precision in execution.
In Cambodia, some people use slingshots to break branches from small trees or to hunt birds. Although this tool is common in rural areas, it does not originate from prehistory as claimed in some texts. Modern slingshots emerged in the 20th century by taking advantage of rubber elasticity to launch projectiles. Their design is based on principles similar to those of slings, which do have ancient origins. Perpetual motion machines are hypothetical devices that would operate without interruption and without an external energy source, which is impossible due to the fundamental principles of thermodynamics, specifically the second law, which states that energy always degrades and cannot be created or destroyed. Any machine that appears to defy these laws, like the one shown, operates with the help of hidden mechanisms, such as discretely placed magnets that provide the necessary impulse to maintain its apparent endless motion.
In western Thailand, boats known as longtail boats are used, adapted to navigate rivers and shallow areas. Their design includes diesel engines mounted on open frames with a long shaft that transmits power to the propeller. Some modified versions use car engines to compete in informal races. These boats can reach notable speeds.
Trains in India face extreme overcrowding, with so many people that they cannot fit inside them. Officially, the cars are divided into first, second, and third class, with the latter being where people travel standing and tightly packed. However, there is a fourth unofficial and extremely dangerous class, traveling on the roof of the trains. Although it is officially not allowed to ride there, many people do so out of necessity or lack of space, risking their lives for a trip.
These are shopping carts that cleverly lock up when they move too far away from the store. Apparently, the system works with a sensor in the wheels that, when passing over a strategically buried cable at the boundaries of the parking lot, locks the wheels. This system, known as the wheel lock system, or smart cart, is designed to prevent theft or loss of carts, as it prevents them from being taken outside the immediate vicinity of the establishment.
Hormuz Island in Iran stands out for its unique red beach in the Persian Gulf. The intense color comes from iron oxide present in a local mountain called Yalak. This mineral, rich in hematite, dyes the sand and water with reddish tones. The beach has become a natural attraction of great cultural and visual value. Recorded in Qilong, China, this rain of colors consists of hundreds of drones landing on the ground. It was a show held to commemorate the Asian Games in the city. The largest wind farm in California is called Alta Wind Energy Center. It is located in Kern County and has a capacity exceeding 1,500 megawatts. This production supplies renewable energy to hundreds of thousands of homes. The complex is one of the largest on land in the world. It uses state-of-the-art technology to harness the region's wind. This is how an escalator is safely stopped. What is observed is an automatic safety system designed to stop movement in case of an emergency. This system is activated when undue pressure is applied to the handrails, which may have pressure sensors, or when the steps mesh incorrectly at the end of the escalator, triggering a safety mechanism to prevent accidents or serious damage.
Longboat races are a tradition in several regions of Thailand, mainly in provinces such as Pichit and Nan. These boats can measure between 66 and more than 164 feet in length, depending on the design and festival. The competitions showcase coordination, strength, and community culture. They are usually held during religious and agricultural festivals. The event is authentic and reflects the country's ancestral practices.
The Dragon of Calais is a self-propelled machine designed by François de la Rosière. It was built specifically for the city of Calais in northern France. Since 2019, it has traveled through the streets as an urban attraction. It measures 82 feet long and 39 feet high and carries passengers during its performances. The machine belongs to the company La Machine, known for its mechanical shows.
This is the Great Elephant of Nantes, created by the French workshop La Machine. It is 39 feet tall and can carry up to 49 passengers. The Carrousel des Mondes Marins is a mechanical attraction located on the island of Nantes, France. It has a diameter of 72 feet and is nearly 82 feet tall. It houses 35 underwater creatures that can be activated by visitors. Recording in Paris, France, a motorcycle drives by itself on a highway. The rider fell accidentally several yards back, leaving the throttle stuck with enough inertia, space, and well-directed handlebars. A motorcycle can travel on its own for miles.
Some fish can associate human presence with food, especially in controlled environments where they are fed regularly. Examples of this habituation are observed in species such as koi in Japan or certain fish in protected areas of Turkey. Recent studies show that some fish are capable of recognizing human faces and following specific divers.
Martial arts include numerous disciplines that use sticks as part of their training or demonstration. Styles such as eskrima, arnis, kali, kung fu, and silambam incorporate techniques with short or long staffs. Some routines are part of choreographed exhibitions. The practice is used both in combat and in artistic expression. This is a piggy bank based on the character No-Face, Kawanashi, from the film Spirited Away, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. It represents the silent spirit and often includes movement or sound in some versions. When the gate of a dam is opened after being closed for a long time, a large volume of accumulative water is released. This can cause strong turbulence and drag sediments into the lower channel. A team from the University of Paris managed to make plastic boats float upside down thanks to vertical vibrations applied to liquids such as glycerol or silicone oil. These vibrations create a stable lower interface between the liquid and the air, where objects can float inverted. It is a system controlled by frequency. The phenomenon contradicts the classical principle of Archimedes and requires dynamic equilibrium. This is Reynisfjara Black Beach in Iceland, a place of somber and spectacular beauty. Combined with snow, its distinctive black color is due to the fact that it is covered with volcanic ash and dark rocks of basaltic origin, formed by the island's volcanic activity. The imposing basalt columns and the powerful waves of the North Atlantic contribute to the dramatic atmosphere of this unique beach. Sheep move in groups due to their gregarious instinct, which helps protect them from predators. It is common for younger ones to follow older sheep that know better feeding routes. Sometimes they walk in single file across farmland, following soil furrows. These lines guide their movement due to comfort and terrain shape, not conscious preference. The STOL competition, short takeoff and landing, is held in Alaska and brings together pilots skilled in high-precision maneuvers. The goal is to take off and land in the shortest possible distance. To achieve this, headwinds are used to improve aerodynamic lift. The aircraft are modified with flaps, slats, and special wing designs. This allows operation at low speed without losing stability. Recorded in Australia, these are boats doing wheelies. Tinnies are small aluminum boats that are highly maneuverable, measuring just over 6.5 feet in length and weighing only 132 pounds. The jellyfish is an exotic cocktail that combines a base of white creme de cacao, amaretto, and Irish cream. Its distinctive visual effect, which evokes the tentacles of a jellyfish, is achieved by carefully adding grenadine syrup, which sinks and creates filaments through the layers of creamy liqueurs. In Japan, school lunch is much more than just food. It is a life lesson. Served by the students themselves, it fosters responsibility and teamwork from an early age. The menus, rich in rice, fish, vegetables, and soups, reflect the country's dedication to healthy eating. It is no surprise that Japan is considered one of the countries with the best nourished populations in the world, with a low rate of childhood obesity and a remarkably high life expectancy. This is the astonishing Shenzhen Library in China. a true architectural and cultural gem located in the vibrant Futian district, facing the picturesque Lianhua Hill. Opened in 2006, it is one of the most modern and technologically advanced library centers in the country, not only because of its vast collection of books and digital resources, but also due to its futuristic design and innovative spaces that encourage reading, research, and community interaction.
China is home to some of the most impressive highways in the world, known for their monumental scale and complex engineering. Many of these roads are not simple ground-level routes, but elevated structures that wind through diverse landscapes, from dense cities to mountainous terrain.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss more interesting content. Leave your comments and click on any of these videos. See you next time.